Let's start with the punch this morning. Rising spending of just 3-year deficit hits 15.4 trillion naira amid revenue crisis. And the riders revenue stood at 12.79 trillion naira. Aggregate expenditure 28.14 trillion naira. Reduce high cost of governance. Boosts taxes. Experts advise FG. Story is on page 17 of the punch this morning. And
a very good story there, because Zainab Ahmed, Nigeria's finance minister, has in the last couple of days tried to justify government expenditure, especially put against government revenue. In fact, let me just explain. A fiscal deficit is a shortfall in government's income, compared with its spending. This means that a government that has a fiscal deficit is spending more than its revenues. And that's Nigeria's problem. For Nigeria, in fact, in the last 3 years, according to this report by The Punch, this deficit has hit about 15 trillion. That means effectively that the government, haven't earned 12.9 trillion in these 3 years, from its revenue sources, oil sector and non-oil sector. The government have spent 28.14 trillion. So there's a deficit of about 15 trillion, and these are official government numbers, by the debt management office, the DMO. So there's no hanky-panky inside. This is what is happening this is the reality of the Nigerian government, in terms of how it's managing the economy. A lot of borrowing, to fix, to spend, because, and remember, the debt to revenue ratio is also another big problem.
Exactly.
Because when you keep borrowing, you keep paying back these loans and service them. And the revenue have almost been shrinking. I read the reports on Bloomberg yesterday that for the last month, Nigeria have not been able to meet its quota on OPEC. We're producing low numbers in our darling oil sector. What Kingsley Moghalu choose to call the god of small things. We still have major preponderance on dependence on oil, in spite of the fact that the world is moving away, from fossil fuels. So if you look at the Nigerian economy, it's the way it is. Zainab Ahmed, the minister, have said that we can't stop borrowing because we must borrow to fix infrastructure. If we don't fix infrastructure, we'll regret this. As a country, infrastructure is complete zero in this country. So that's why we're borrowing. The deficit will keep going higher, but we won't stop borrowing because we need to fix this infrastructure, especially. That's on the one side. On the real side, on the pocket side, there, you look to the naira is about 530 naira to the dollar. Minimum wage has not changed. There's rising inflation in the country. The disposable income, the money you have in our pockets, is diminishing very fast. It's really a tough time to have kids in this country. I'm wondering, people with 3-4 kids, how they manage. Like we always say now, this is school fees week.
Yes.
This week and next week.
Yes.
I'm sympathizing with parents.
If you have more than 2
if you
kids.
have 4 children, how will you manage? For me, for instance, my daughter is entering final year in secondary school. You see the school fees there. And I wonder why final year school fees is big. It's supposed to be small. And then my son is entering secondary school for the first year. So you can see
you're paying two parts.
You can understand why I see the part 8 sometimes. But it's the reality of the Nigerian situation. People, are just, things are stagnant. People are suffering more than they should because disposable income is diminishing.
Zero,
and things are getting higher. Even in the national numbers, look at it.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more, leave a comment, and like. Thank you.